Hello and namaste. Welcome back. If you're continuing from having begun with part 1 and you're already relaxed, please forgive this repetition. If you are skipping ahead to this part, please settle in your customary situation, meditation-wise, sitting up or laying down. Shake out whatever energy you've got. Take in a deep clearing breath, letting go of any junk feelings, junk thoughts, junk emotions, junk energy. Acknowledge the practice. It takes practice. You're here now. Take a second deep clearing breath. Bring your attention, your focus, to the third eye area. Accept yourself in this moment now, exactly as everything is. Take a third deep clearing breath and clear any obstacles or blockages you have from receiving or sending out love and forgiveness. Do a quick body scan and invite each group of muscles in that area of your body to relax even deeper. Your eyes and ears, nose and mouth. Relax that neck and those shoulders, your ribs and back. Open up those hips. Let that diaphragm really just ease up. Loosen up the pelvis, the rectum, gluteus maximus, your upper legs, your knees, your feet, and your toes. You should be very deeply and fully relaxed now. Bring yourself and your attention, the entirety of your awareness, concentrated in your forehead, in the traditional place where we depict the third eye. This meditation is called Theater of the Mind because our imagination is a two-way street, but we haven't been encouraged to understand that. Our imagination, as many artists understand, is deeply intuitive and will reveal to us imagery that rings with genuineness and truth that we had no previous preconception of. We've been conditioned to neglect, ignore, and even to disrespect our imagination. That's why so many meditation techniques often invoke visualization as part of the practice. In order to see our inner worlds clearly, we must reconnect, reactivate, re-engage, and rehabilitate our inner imaginative visualization abilities. Follow the sound of my voice and imagine that you find yourself in a large, old, regal, if only slightly musty, theater. for stage plays. The seats are empty and dimly lit, just bright enough to get around without feeling weird or awkward. The stage is bare. Visualize yourself approaching that stage. There's a set of steps just off to the side. You feel welcome, invited in. You step on the stage. Right at the center of the deck, you yawn and stretch, then sit down. You look about the theater. Behind you is all the exposed machinations and machinery of the backstage, which usually never see line of sight to the audience. And before you is a grand hall, room for lots of people to enjoy the art. Now visualize yourself laying down, laying back. This theater is a magically beautiful place. There are no sounds to distract you. The silence is, in fact, so thick, it's deafening. Close your eyes, and you might as well be floating in a void. A light shines down on you from above. One bright, singular light. It's a warm, ever so off-white kind of light. From way up above, in shadowy darkness where you can't quite make out how it's suspended, this light shines down on you as you're laying on the stage. All the other lights in the theater dim down gently until the seats disappear and the back of the stage disappears. This one light remains shining down upon you, and it casts a shadow of darkness. It also reflects a shimmer, a glow in the shape of a shadow, but of light. Sit in this theater and observe yourself and your shadow and your light as though you were watching from a seat in the audience. Observe them. While a shadow is not a physical, tangible object, it is inseparable from you while you are in sunlight. Likewise, this light body shadow, anti-shadow, inverse shadow, this light energy is shimmering from you just like a shadow, inseparable from you, in the shape of you, just like a shadow. They are connected and inseparable from your body. And yet there seems to be some tension, some conflict, some static between them. Your shadow hovers a few inches behind you. Your light glimmers a few inches in front of you. And it seems as though they repel each other like magnets. They appear to be exerting a constant effort to occupy the space between them. But that force repelling them apart keeps them from converging. That one light above you shining down, it narrows and sharpens its focus. Until it is a pencil-thin beam focused directly on your third eye. From your vantage point in the audience, it almost seems like you can't tell whether the light is coming down from the sky or emanating up from within your mind. The beam is now so tight and focused that it's quite bright. But you look closely and you notice that within the beam there are swirls of shimmering hues and glittering otherness, like two kinds of light intermingling. Slowly, gently, but inexorably, unavoidably, by the power of that light shining down, your shadow self and your light self begin to merge. Observe them. That force that once repelled them and pushed them apart like a strong magnet, now, just as powerfully but just as slowly, pulls them together until they completely converge. When the light and the dark have fully reintegrated, your physical body bursts with bright, golden liquid light. This light fills your whole body as though it were an empty vessel. And deep inside, this golden liquid light heals you. It heals you emotionally. It heals you spiritually. It heals you mentally and heals you bodily. The healing is only as much as you can endure at this time. It is the right kind of healing for you and your need. When it has finished healing you, this golden liquid light begins to shrink and shrivel away. It starts retreating inwards, away from the outline of the shape of your body. It shrinks, and as it does so, it draws you in towards it, the you that was watching from the audience. This shrinking golden liquid light draws you towards itself as it gets smaller and smaller, shrinking and shrinking. You follow it inwards. You follow it inwards, entering your own body. Zooming past organs and cells and molecules, subatomic particles. Down and down and down you go, getting smaller and smaller and smaller. You keep following this golden liquid light that was in the shape of your body as it shrinks to the impossible dimensions of Planck length, the smallest size, where science says it seems impossible to go any smaller. You're following as fast as you can. The smaller it gets, the faster the golden light shrinks and recedes away from you. The golden light has now shrunk down to a dot. And even as you approach it, it shrinks down to a point. It finally seems within your grasp, and it has shrunk down into a singularity. And still, it draws you towards itself. It pulls you. It pulls you into itself. The bright, healing, golden liquid has shrunk down so small, so intensely, that it has transformed itself into a golden black hole. Visualize approaching its event horizon, that impossible boundary that science says nothing can survive if they transgress it, if they they cross that boundary. This golden black hole pulls you in. And as you fall into and inside of it, you discover that now there is nowhere else to go. There is nowhere else to follow it. In crossing that boundary of the event horizon, you have become it. You are the singularity of consciousness, observing everything. This singularity of consciousness simultaneously exists or resides or manifests itself at the center of everyone's experiential phenomenon. Your body is a phenomenon which you observe. You observe it so intimately and so constantly that you take it for granted that you are the body. But ask yourself, where is that boundary between that which you are and that which you are observing? Check in with your breathing. Don't force it, but invite it. Follow your visualizations wherever they might lead you now for the next few minutes. If nothing appears, do not judge, do not worry, do not attach yourself to the notion that you are failing at meditating. Just invite your imagination to reveal more to you. And if images come, perceive them, enjoy them. Do not judge them, do not fear them, do not take pride in them. Observe them. Enjoy them. If your mind wanders and your imagination's showing you imagery of ordinary, everyday, sort of mundane things, don't get upset. Don't judge it. Don't judge yourself. Perceive them. Maybe ask if there's a message there. If there's nothing, if you're just getting really random imagery or memories, it's fine. Keep breathing. Keep forgiving your distractions. Keep coming back, bringing your awareness to the third eye and to the breath. And keep touching in with the steps we did earlier, if that helps. If my interjection just now distracted you from some lovely visuals, forgive me and the distraction, and do the same thing. Let it go, reconnect with your breath. Invite your mind to reveal things to you. Now it's time to gently bring yourself back from wherever you find yourself, whatever quiet space or daydream visualization. Check in with your breath. Draw in one big clearing breath and exhale very slowly. It's common to judge ourselves at this stage as we're transitioning out of our practice of rehearsing meditation and adjusting our bodies and our minds back to normal reality. If you have those kinds of feelings or thoughts, forgive them and let them go. I want to take a moment and thank you for tuning in and giving this a try. If you have comments, questions, suggestions, as I always say, the email's right in my profile. Please do indeed send me an email. Let me know if this helped or if it didn't help, if it was interesting or boring. And as we wrap up, I invite you to take a moment to be kind to yourself. As my meditation podcast ends, spend a moment in some silence, sharing some love energy just with you, not in a selfish way, not in an ego way, but in that much more fulfilling and much more beautiful and much more challenging way of forgiveness. You know what needs healing and forgiveness inside of you, especially if you feel it's too big for you to heal or forgive yourself about. I encourage you to consider that there's no higher judge than the one that sits in your heart. As the one, and that's a line I borrowed from a lovely, beautiful play called The Crucible. Not trying to sound like I came up with that myself, but I think it's a resounding truth and therefore deserves to be referenced and quoted often. My dear friends, my brothers and sisters, the worst judge, we are our own worst critics. There is no higher judge of our own success and failings than the judge that sits in our heart. And that can be interpreted in an ego framework, but I think it means and it references that the heart is one of the seats of divinity. It's one of the places where we connect to and transmit and receive the divine frequencies of energies that are accessible in the network of spiritual metastructures that are part of this organic, fractal maze that we exist in. Until next time, may peace, love, and grooviness be with you. And as always, if you liked what I post, please tell your friends, share it, help me reach a broader audience. And if you have the means to give a small but very meaningful contribution towards the elevating of the level of quality and excellence of my ability to produce this and other projects, by all means, I humbly welcome your emails about that and anything else. Thanks again. Until next time, this has been the incorrigible Mr. Zeppo.